limit is x goes to 4 of the square root of 3x squared plus 4x minus 2x over 16 minus x squared. First thing we're going to do is plug a 4 in for each of the x values. That will give us the square root of 3 times 4 squared plus 4 times 4, and then minus 2 times 4 over 16 minus 4 squared. Four squared is 16 times a 3 is a 48, and then 4 times 4 is a 16, minus 2 times 4, which is an 8, over 16 minus 4 squared, which is a 16. 48 plus 16 is 64, minus 8 over 16 minus 16. The square root of 64 is an 8, so we have 8 minus 8 divided by 16 minus 16. The numerator is 8 minus 8, which is a 0. The denominator is 16 minus 16, which is also a 0. So we have the 0 over 0 indeterminate form. We will need to rework this. Since we have a root combination, a root involving the variable x in some way, added or subtracted together with at least one other term, we can try the root conjugate method. So we're going to take this original limit, which will be the root of 3x squared plus 4x minus 2x divided by 16 minus x squared, and we're going to multiply this by the conjugate of that root combination, which will be the same two terms in the root combination but opposite sign between them, so it'll be a plus between them. And we're going to put one in the numerator and one in the denominator, so that we're multiplying by a form of 1, which does not change the value, just the look of the expression. And we will now multiply these, so we will have limit as x goes to 4. In the numerator, we have the root conjugate pair, so we will FOIL that out first. The root of 3x squared plus 4x times the root of 3x squared plus 4x will give us a 3x squared plus 4x. Outside, the root of 3x squared plus 4x times a 2x will give us a plus 2x. The root of 3x squared plus 4x. The inside, the negative 2x times the root of 3x squared plus 4x. And then the last, negative 2x times a positive 2x is a negative 4x squared. And all of this will be divided by. These will not be root conjugates, and we will not FOIL them out. Let's keep these in a factored format. They are multiplying each other, but they will remain factored. Now, when you FOIL out a root conjugate pair, the outside and inside terms will always cancel. So let's go ahead and cancel those out there. Equal value, opposite sign. And our next step, we're going to combine together the x squared terms here and here. So that will give us limit is x goes to 4 of negative x squared plus 4x, and then divided by that entire denominator, which I'm not going to do anything with just yet. And at this point, we've taken care of the root conjugate multiplication. We have not eliminated the 0 over 0 just yet. If you plug a 4 in, it's going to make a 0 here in the numerator, and it's going to make a 0 here in the denominator. Those cannot cancel just yet, so we will need to factor each of those. So in the numerator, that factorization is done by a common factor. It looks like we can factor an x out of there, and that will give us a negative x and a positive 4. In the denominator, we have a difference of squares, which can factor into a 4 plus an x and a 4 minus an x. And then the root of 3x squared plus 4x plus 2x is multiplying all of that. We still have 0 over 0 until we cancel like factors, but negative x plus 4 and 4 minus x are identical factors. They're both making 0 over 0 when x goes to 4. They can now cancel, and we can write what's left over. Limit as x goes to 4 of x divided by 4 plus x times the root of 3x squared plus 4x plus 2x. We should no longer have the 0 over 0 indeterminate form, so we can now plug a 4 in for each of the x's, and that will give us 4 over 4 plus 4 times the root 3 times 4 squared plus 4 times 4, and then all of that added to 2 times 4. So we have 4 divided by 4 plus 4 is an 8. We have the root of 3 times 4 squared. 4 squared is 16. Times that by 3 is 48, plus 4 times 4, which is 16, and then all of that added to 8. Now this 8 and this 4 can cancel down somewhat, since that 8's multiplying things down there, and that'll be a 1 and a 2. So that will leave us with 1 divided by 2 times the square root of 48 plus 16, which is 64, and then plus 8. The square root of 64 is an 8, so 1 over 2 times 8 plus 8, 1 over 2 times 16. 2 times 16 is a 32, so we end up with 1 over 32.